In today's video we are talking about selecting correct hardware for your system upgrade. Most peoples don't know about their system and they spend lot of money to make their system faster. But they don't know that with some little information they can minimize lot of cost which they are spending unnecessarily on their system upgrade. But before we get started, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing the channel because it help us to make good content. So let's get started. Most of the time you have seen that your computer might getting slow when you install new updates to your system, or updating your software, or trying to run daily necessary software which do not or support less your old system hardwares such as latest Microsoft Office for office work. Normally a general desktop PC takes booting time 10 seconds or less, but if you are feeling that your system is taking longer than the one we have stated here, I suggest you should consider upgrading system hardware such as memory, processor, or even motherboard. Now most of people generally wants to stick to their existing condition of system and want to work on them even knowing that their system is taking longer than forever time to generate desired output, assuming that it take lot of money to make system performance better. But this is all false. With some information you could actually make your system better with newer upgrades without even going to service store and purchasing unnecessary parts. If you want to make your system go fast as forever and smoother in performance, then consider following points. Identify your motherboard type and collect little info about it. For example, if you have a motherboard with 32-bit CPU on board, which mean you cannot upgrade it to 64-bit fast processor. A 32-bit processor has a limit for RAM, memory and storage. It can even has a limit for hardware expansion such as in terms to 32-bit CPU you can have maximum 4 GB of RAM memory limit. If you see you have 2 slots for RAM in your motherboard and you think you can put 2 4 GB memory into the slots, the system will work, but it can only use 4 GB of RAM and not other 4 GB. Also, most of the time motherboard manufacturer specifies memory type for use such as DDR3, DDR4. These are different type of memory version, which mean if motherboard has pre-installed DDR3 memory or has specified to use DDR3, then you cannot upgrade it to DDR4 due to the onboard pin configuration and size or shape of RAM memory. So this was about identifying your processor for determining maximum memory limit of RAM. Next is storage device. The storage can also play crucial part in speeding up performance of your system. Due to RAM memory size limit, your system cannot execute whole 2 GB or 4 GB software in your 2 GB or 4 GB RAM. Instead it store data in secondary storage and uses whenever the system or software requests. Generally hard disks have moving mechanical parts to read and write data on them, and this takes time to read or write data. And hard disk cannot be more upgraded due to their moving parts. To overcome this problem you can purchase a SSD. SSD are solid state drive which do not have any mechanical moving parts, and its speed for reading and writing data is far faster than a hard disks. So for booting up operating system, executing large program without hanging problem, consider a small amount of SSD such as 120 GB size for your system. Next is processor of motherboard itself. Some motherboards support dual channeling for RAM, some support single channel. Some has lower speed data buses, some has higher speed data buses. If you think you can spend some money, always try to upgrade processor to latest 64-bit dual core or even more powerful CPU. Motherboard manufacturers also specifies the limit of processor generation it can support, such as Intel i3 to i7 etc. If you can upgrade it to latest generation, consider it to upgrade then. Next is cooling fan and heatsink paste. You think it's weird that a cooling fan and heatsink paste will make your system faster. But you are thinking correct and right. Excessive heat lowers the electrical resistance of objects, therefore increasing the current. In addition, slowdown is a result of overheating. Components can shut down when overheated and the motherboard temperature sensor instructs hardware such as the hard drive and processor to slow down. So try to purchase faster cooling fans for system and CPU to lower amount of heat in your system. Heatsink paste will remove heat faster from your CPU chip, which make a CPU chip work better and smoother. So check that your CPU have a heatsink paste or not. Or apply it if the paste has been applied long time ago. So these are some hardware upgrade and information regarding technically speeding up your PC performance. Before leaving, please like the video and subscribe the channel. Goodbye.